In this video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek inside of my own content strategy and how I'm generating leads, how I'm making my money.
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue, it is something you are.
So I'm going to give you a sneak peek in terms of my content strategy for inbound and how I'm using inbound for my businesses. So first thing you want to realize that you just got to be smart about creating content. So that's what I really want to talk about, because that's how you're going to build your business. Is you just got to be smart about your content strategy. So first you need to understand the end goal of your content and where it fits into the buyer journey. So the content that I create for Speaking Lifestyle and the content that I create for BBTV, they're two different things, and everything that I do is different based on the end goal and based on the buyer's journey. This is why I always talk about how I do a lot of prospecting and a lot of outbound for gigs, because that's more focused on the right buyer's journey, rather than with Speaking Lifestyle and BBTV. That's more focused on the inbound, and the strategy is just completely different. So with Speaking Lifestyle, I tend to create content for people who are already on the list. This isn't for people who find Speaking Lifestyle through SEO. So if I were to create Speaking Lifestyle content based on SEO and I want people to find it, go to Google, type in how to find gigs. If I want them to come to the website, then the strategy would be different. So instead of me creating all these videos, instead of me looking so suave and so dashing and handsome on these videos, I would essentially create a lot of blog posts, and I would type like 2,000 words per blog post. That way I get the SEO going. But I realized a long time ago, hey, I don't want to do that. I would rather create videos and say how awesome I am on the videos, instead of say how awesome I am in writing. And so I decided I would essentially create ads, and I would get people onto the list with the ads, and I wouldn't care if people found me with SEO. So the strategy is very different. And by doing this, it allows me to talk about what I want to talk about, because when I Googled how to find events, and when I Googled all this stuff about speaking business, how to build a speaking business, all this stuff, I found some horrible stuff. I mean, some ridiculous, stupid stuff that doesn't even make sense. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And so I realized, okay, the stuff that people type into Google isn't the stuff that they need to actually know. A lot of what people need to know are things that they don't even know that they need to know. So they don't even ask the questions. And so I realized, okay, I need to talk about information where people don't even know what questions to ask themselves. And so that's why I created this. That's why I go based on this strategy, where it's more about me bringing people in with the ads and then talking about whatever the heck I want to talk about in the videos, and not caring about SEO. And that's just me. If your strategy is based on SEO, then you got to focus more on, okay, what are people typing into Google? That's what I'm going to write about. And so the content for the BBTV, for my motivational part, for none of the stuff where I'm teaching marketing, none of the stuff, is just the motivational stuff. For that, I made a simple observation, and the observation is very simple, where people love motivational content that they already agree with. People just love content that they already agree with. And so when you post motivational stuff, or when you post stuff and you say things like hustle hard, go all in, things like that, think big, people already agree with that. And because they already agree with that, they like it, they comment on it. I mean, they're like, this dude is brilliant. And so when you post stuff that people already agree with, then you're much more likely to build a following, to build your list. And so by doing this, what happens is the reason people agree with it is because, or they comment and like on it and all that stuff, share it and everything. The reason they do that is because it shows a reflection of who they are. So when I share hustle hard, a picture that says hustle hard, when I share that, it's a reflection of me, where I'm saying, oh, I hustle hard. With business people, when business people share an article from entrepreneur.com or Inc. magazine or wherever, and the article says the 12 successful traits of entrepreneurs, when business people share that, they're essentially saying, this is a reflection of me. And that's what they want to share out into the world. And so you got to think in terms of the content that you're producing. Is it going to be the content that's going to reflect this person that you're trying to attract? That's the strategy behind the content that I produce. And so what I'll do is I'll read comments on a blog or a lot of times in YouTube videos, mainly in YouTube videos, and I'll look to see what people are saying, what content they really like, what content they really agree with, and then I'll just say it in a different way. And now that's essentially what I do. So Walt Disney actually did this, and a lot of people think in terms of, oh, I got to create new stuff. Oh, it's something new. But that's not how it works. What you do is you look at the content that people love and you create a better version of it, or you create a different version of it. And so Walt Disney created laugh-o-grams. This was before he was Walt Disney. So to make money, he created laugh-o-grams. And laugh-o-grams, it was essentially, it would tell the news, but it would just tell in a very entertaining way. And so he wasn't creating anything new. He was just saying, okay, here's the news. Let me just create it in a very entertaining way. And that's what you're doing. You're saying, okay, here's what people like. Let me just produce that differently. So maybe there's a picture of hustle hard where someone's like this, and you create a different video or a different picture where you're like that. And so you put, oh, hustle really hard or something. And so you have to essentially figure out what people really like, and then you create different versions of that content. That's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on 1 million views. I don't care about 1 million followers, 1 million views. I can care less about views. I realize there is no correlation, zero correlation between how many views you get, whether it's on your YouTube channel, Facebook Live, whatever it is. There is no correlation between how many views you get and the revenue you generate. And I've seen so many guys say, I'm just going to do Facebook Live. I'm going to create all these videos. Oh, I got all these views. Who cares? I've seen so many guys focus on that, whereas they don't focus on the revenue. And there are guys out there who are creating YouTube videos. They get like 50 views on their videos, and they built a 9-figure business. Like I know these guys, and that's why I realized, okay, why would I focus on views when I would rather focus on the actual business, on the profits? And so what I'm more focused on is creating the content that produces the sales. And with the motivational content, with the BBTV type content, I think in terms of, okay, what is the content that people already love, content that people already like? Let me just produce a different version of that content. Let me just produce it differently, whether it's me in the picture, whatever it is. Let me just produce it differently, say it differently, put that out into the world because people already love it. And then I'll focus the rest of my time on the revenue, on actually prospecting and generating the revenue. So that's a little bit behind the content strategy that I do. You got to really think in terms of what's your end goal. I mean, if your end goal is, okay, I want 1 million views, then yeah, you're going to focus, you're going to have something a little different than what I'm doing. If your end goal is you want to get found through the internet search, you're not going to create a ton of videos, you're going to write a ton of blog posts. So you got to think in terms of what is your end goal. But that's my strategy for both Speaking Lifestyle and for the BBTV, where Speaking Lifestyle is more about, I'm just creating content where I'm going to talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about instead of just focusing on what people type into Google. And then when it comes to BBTV, that's more focused on the inspirational content that people already love, people already agree with, where I look to see, okay, they love this, they love that, let me create a different version of that. So that's a little bit of my content strategy. What's yours?